All right, and we are back online. It's been a while. Jim, what are we talking about today?
Today, Duncan, we have 12 quick-fire tips for an awesome daily scrum.
It is going to be awesome. Let's do it.
Tip number 1, the daily scrum is by the developers, for the developers.
That's right. It's not for the Scrum Master. It's not for the product owner. It's not for the stakeholders. It's for the people doing the work. And tip 2, it's not a status reporting event. It's meant to be a planning event. Like all of our events, it's an opportunity to inspect and adapt.
And tip number 3, what are we inspecting? We're inspecting progress towards the sprint goal. So focus on the sprint goal.
And make sure you have a sprint goal as well. And tip 4, do what works. You don't have to use the 3 questions. Nothing wrong with the 3 questions, or they're not necessarily evil. What did I do yesterday towards the sprint goal? What am I working on today towards the sprint goal? Any blockers or impediments? But we don't have to use them. So in the Daily Scrum, as with everything, we do what works.
And Duncan, tip number 5, you know what else might be a good idea? Same time, same place, every day to reduce complexity.
And tip 6 is time box for the Daily Scrum is 15 minutes, and that is a maximum. So we talk about these time boxes for all of the Scrum events as a guide. They're a really useful guide for how long these events should be taking. But 15 minutes is a maximum. You don't have to fill that time. My fastest daily scrum has been 93 seconds, and that includes saying good morning, checking we're all on the same page, and then just getting back to work. So if we've got nothing to talk about, let's just get back to it.
And on that note, tip number 7, share your progress or lack of progress towards achieving the sprint goal. It is all about being transparent. It is all about sharing information. There is no good news. There is no bad news. In the Daily Scrum, there is just the news. Share the news.
Nice. And tip 8 is if your sprint backlog isn't changing after the Daily Scrum, you're probably not doing it right. Once we've raised that transparency on progress, on problems, then often as not, there should be some changes, or often changes to our plan for the sprint, to the sprint backlog. So certainly it would be an anti-pan for me if I saw a team having the Daily Scrum, but that didn't affect the backlog and they weren't ever changing their plan.
And on that note, all of the developers should be there every day because they are a team. They are working together. They are helping each other. If you're not there in your daily scrum, how can you offer help to other members of your team that might need your assistance? You show respect to your team members by being present, being focused. Then it's a daily scrum.
And almost on that theme, tip 10 is to hold one another accountable. Not about pointing the finger of blame, but it's about being professional. If someone said they were going to get something done for this morning and they didn't get it done, then we need to find out what the problem is. We need to find out whether they need help. And if they're just trying to brush it under the carpet, we need to hold one another accountable as professionals. Again, not about blaming, but it's about just being transparent and holding one another to account.
And on the subject of being professional, if you don't have anything to say, stop talking. It's not your job to fill the silence with noise. Share information about how things are going. And when you're done, shut up.
When you're done, you're done. And just to wrap up, tip 12 of the daily stand-up is that you don't have to stand up. It's not a stand-up, it's a daily scrum. So the intention behind this is if we stood up during our meetings, they'd be short meetings. It was well-intentioned. But nowadays we've got lots of diverse different people working in different locations, some in virtual, some face-to-face. So obviously we don't have to stand up anymore.
And that is 12 tips for an awesome daily scrum.
Rapid fire. And that is Scrum Chat.